Oh, where you watch? Look where you watch. Know where you watch. Choose the right thing to watch. And this enough to watch. Sticky Stucky Sweet TV with Keith Gargan, Facebook and YouTube. And that enough to watch. The movie star fly take off from Palpatine TV said that. Boom!
A big sound, a play a big tune.
Ja holy Emmanuel I boy. Ja Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. Well, Gideon go busting out them head again. So much oppression poor people face right now. Them crying out for freedom. Them crying out for free speech. Then said them want to stand up like them black liberators, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther and the ancient monarchy where come pave the way, sir. Free up black people from me tear down them fence, yeah. Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon, well, the Gideon go busting out them head. I listen, I see, I the power of the Trinity. Give us the teaching of His Majesty, and we know war, not every...
Blow, Mr. Gargan, blow! Blow till me dance up me toe!
This is Sticky Stucky Sweet TV with Keith Gargan. Good, healthy food with the X Factor. So give it a like, share, subscribe, and touch up that notification bell. And that is it. Look at that.
Well, you know, them used to look jolly and really, I know, so well, then, when I say jolly, I mean confident, you know. You see when you're confident, yo, them not have that confident again.
Yeah, man. Time come. My golden again. Yeah. Comrades. My golden. Power. Father God, I make them fight so hard. A lucky thing we never coward. A lucky thing we put we trust in the Lord. Them want we for dead in the mud like that. No make you up your work and them get no reward. No make them get no reward. No make you up your work and them get no reward. Man, you see them sit down and I mash up the thing.
General.
Well, I man said warning. For those who want to test Mark Golden and know that they cannot win. Lot of mercy. I man say inna me going out and inna me coming in. One thing they on my mind I just Mark Golden for win. And if God spare me life to see tomorrow morning, and me have the understanding, say me a go foreign. Me not go sit down in them plane. Me a sit on the wing with all my 2 foot them a swing and I say Golden you a king. So anything me say uno say Mark Golden. From Kingston to Sparling.
Mark Golden.
From Mobile to St. Catherine.
Mark Golden.
Me is a die-hearted labor right and me have to change up the thing. Cause right now me a go under too much suffering. Who me say fi run the country.
Mark Golden.
Certain man and him girlfriend, them gone with everything. So food and left for we don't have no salting. Who me say fi run Jamaica.
Mark Golden.
Skengan me want talk to you. And me like live. Call me upon the number here which is 215-3679. When you get the time I make we discuss that through ya. If you never mind. If you say
Mark Golden.
who me say fi run Jamaica.
Mark Golden.
From Kingston to Sparling.
Mark Golden.
One thing I like with Mark Golden, him always do the right thing. He make sure born in a Jamaica and no born and no foreign. Who me say fi run Jamaica.
Mark Golden.
For the fat and the slim.
Mark Golden.
Mark Golden, you a king. Mark Golden. Who me say fi run Jamaica.
Mark Golden.
Deliver me from my enemy, my God. Set me an eye from those who rise up against me. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity. Save me from the bloodthirsty men. For behold, they lie and wait for my soul. The mighty gather themselves together against me, not for my disobedience, not for my sin, Lord. I have done no wrong, yet they are ready to attack me. Rise up, behold, and help me. You, Lord God of armor, the God of Israel, rouse yourself to punish the nation. Show no mercy to the wicked, traitor, sealer. They return at evening, howling like dogs, and prowl around the city. Behold, they spat with their mouth, so they are in their lips, for they say, Who art us? But you, Lord, laugh at them, you scoff of all the nation. O my strength, I wish for you, for God is my high tower. My God will go before me with his loving kindness. God will let me look at my enemy in triumph. Don't kill them, or my people may forget. Scatter them by their power, and bring them down, Lord, our shield. For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let they be catching their pride. For the curses and lie which they utter. Consume them in wrath, consume them, and they will be no more. Let them know that God rules in Jacob to the ends of the earth. Selah. At evening let them return, let them howl like a dog, and go around the city. They shall wander up and down for food, and wait all night, if they ain't satisfied. But I will sing of your strength, yes, I will sing aloud of your loving kindness in the morning, for you have been my high tower, a refuge in the day of my distress. To you, my strength, I will sing praises, for God is my high tower, the God of my mercy, Selah. Up and running, up and gunning, up and running. Sticky Stocky Sweet TV, Keith Gargan, cassava, up and running. Anyway, right about now, we see Mark Golden in Toronto, Canada, right? Amongst the real diaspora them. And it's a good look. And this is a natural and real diaspora. It's not something we look false and it's people who have whooping mind and things like that. But the one where Mr. Andrew Wallace say, I tell all the while, it's just control crowd. Right, control crowd, and that not really, there's no democracy in that, And we can see that right through, no matter how fool it is. Because this is really real diaspora people who come out. Nothing, people that say what they want to say, ask the question, no control, and limited question like what we said the last time. But we know say the thing is real, and we have to highlight it, but it's a good look overall. And on top of what's going on, right, on top of what's going on, remember, with Nigel Clark leave yesterday as well, and I don't know, look please, when we look on this brother here, we can see there's something worrying in him, worry his mind, worrying in his mind, there's some reason or the other. He don't look pleasing if, well, in fact, the whole Labour Party machine, I listen to them at the political meeting. They know the man of the cash, they don't look pleased. Andrew Wallace, him worse, him attack, you can see what on his face. People have to read upon them things there, so they don't look pleased like, 2017 and them things there, 2017. And even before that, when them used to look jolly and really, I know, say, well then, when I say jolly, I mean confident, You see when you're confident, they don't have that confidence again. So, there's something I don't understand. But anyway, Nigel look worried. And when me see Anna pick up from that, remember, Nigel tell a lot of lies. In the SSL saga, FBI gonna come. Him gonna leave no stone unturned. People have to get back their money. Rete, Lele, all these promising, and then all that bangarang start to break out. Like, them breaking a SSL, thief computer. Then them pay how much money with taxpayers' money to keep the things going. And then all of a sudden, nobody never expect this. This is the aftermath. The man blood clot say him get a job. He one of the biggest financial one of the biggest financial organization anyway. IMF. You can't go around that, IMF boy, and the money we're gonna get for this job now, it's gonna be a massive piece of chunk. But one thing I say, to be truthful, he not look happy, and there's something troubling this guy. Like Nigel Clark is somebody who grew up soft, and his mother and the whole family of them, But, Andrew Wallace draw him out. When people get in a bad company, and them try to really run out of it. Like, getting a gang and you try to run out of it with the best you can. But now go happen, because I think, and I believe, I'm going to say this without no fear. I'm not going to talk about no alleged like that. Because if Nigel Clark think him can sue me, him our next team coming, because I'm going to get a red cent from me. And you're gonna waste him time. I'm not gonna bother with that anyway. So I'm not gonna say no allege. I say where my mind see, because he was the finance minister. He was close to Andrew Wallace. So he know what's going on at SSL. Him tell lies, I never get no letter, I never get until I letter lies. So we can talk the things them. So this guy I know he's one of the 6, one of the 8, not 6. I got to Rascal at 8 now. Andrew Wallace call out already. He's part of it. And that's why I'm around, because, but you know, yeah, what song saying, you could have run till you can't run no more. We're going to find you. You're going to hide till you can't hide no more. We're going to get you. Me I'll do a record like that as well, too, you know, around that segment of lyrics, but in a my one way. Yeah, man. So you couldn't run, brother. It not going to work, because him can't take shame, you know. He's a funny guy as well, Nigel Clark. Just look at my argument. He don't confident. One time him confident, but confident again. He's just really, he's a guy really. And that's why I'm have to run. But anyway you run, go brother, the heat are going to depend you. No matter how you have to answer question and the things come out, you can't hide from the really wrath of the law, you know, when it's really ready to come down by you, you know. That's that me I say, you know. But overall, we're not bad mind for your job. If you have the brains to do it, and it's not like some charade why them hire you. I don't know what's going on, but that are your business, and for the IMF business, I don't care. Zero. All I'm saying, there's something troubling you, and I know you get mixed up and caught up in the whole bangarang and the whole shit. And I know your name gonna come out in a one of them. What are one of them numbers there? You are in the numbers, put it that way. You are in the numbers. I don't know if his number, what number you're going to call on, but brother, I'm saying this because I feel like I'm confident when I say that. Yeah, man, to only look upon you, because there's no way. I remember some things come out with the other day with charity and them things there, you know? So you are deeply in it as well. So that was like the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, man. So anyway, we are talking about Mark Golding. So, you know, we give thanks and praises, Mark Golding, because it look like him on the road. Because the only thing me see where Andrew Wallace can win this election is by thieving. And that's all it is. Yeah. It's by thieving. So, you know, I don't understand what's going to happen with this woman, Philbert, who the Prime Minister, she had an investigation for corruption. She go court. And the man still bring her in back. So you can say, well, and then people are full of, the party is full of, they believe in a corruption. That cannot happen in a no matter even a banana Republican country. How can you, the woman resign through the same thing? Resign, you know. There's no by-election for all this time. And now I'm call it and bring her in back. You know, see, anyway, we don't go bother really, because, you know, I don't know where I go on. So, let's get into the video. Here goes. Boom.
I'm just going back to when I was a child, and this is still embedded in me, and I'm going to echo it. Socialist and a fool. No master, no day again. Every man love for.
Yeah.
All right, that's what you call taking advantage of your time.
Your name is my name is Nicole Hansen. From Ensign Planning and Development. I'm a dual citizen of Canada and Jamaica, and I'm curious to know how you will be incentivizing high-skilled professionals that are coming in to support the land use planning framework. Planning in Jamaica is extremely fragmented, and we're looking at urban development and how development should occur. It's disproportionate from the south coast to the north coast to the existing communities on the inner land. So I'm wondering how you will be working with skilled professionals to come in and support more of the needed housing infrastructure, ways that we can bring back manufacturing, the ways that we can look at farming communities and have them farming again, based on having strong spatial plans and local plans that are more up to date, with stronger zoning, and that allow for the diaspora community to want to come to live in Jamaica, but also build on their land in ways that provides more housing.
That's a lot. The planning function in Jamaica around building is really managed at the local government level. So if you have land that you want to subdivide and develop, or you have a piece of land that you want to build a building on, or a hotel, from whatever the size of it, you have to submit an application to your local authority to get that. And they then engage with the state agencies that have input on this, including the environmental agency, NEPA, which also deals with planning at the higher level, and the fire department, the water commission, etc., etc. But ultimately, the decision is made by the local authority whether to give you that building approval or that subdivision approval. Part of the problem why we have such a fragmented system, part of the problem, there are other aspects to it. Part of the problem is that local government in Jamaica has not been adequately resourced to do what they have to do. So they have very important responsibilities, but they don't have the wherewithal to execute them well. And in particular, things like making sure that people comply with approvals that they have been given, that the conditions that were imposed are adhered to by the developers, or indeed that they don't proceed without having proper approval. The resources, the staffing in particular, of persons to monitor, evaluate, and enforce those rules are not where they need to be. We are believers in local government. You know, we were the ones who were the architects of the recent reforms in that area, which were designed to bring governance closer to the people and give more autonomy to local government practitioners. We want to complete that reform, and we want to resource local governments more meaningfully so that they can execute on those tasks, those important responsibilities well. Because the people of Jamaica rely on that to be properly done. You step into a building, you want to know it's properly constructed, and that somebody was monitoring to ensure that that was the case. So this is a very important issue that we've raised. In terms of people like yourself, I assume, and others who have skills and experience in this area, you know, we want to engage the diaspora. I've said it already. And how we do so, I think, whether, for example, NEPA at the board level, NEPA has a board. You know, we need people on that board who are at the cutting edge of climate change science and environmental science, planning, urban planning and rural planning, all of that. And there are other agencies where these skills are needed, and I would want persons who have that capacity to be prepared to give us service so that we can raise the standard of decision making in these critical areas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Yes. Good evening again, Mr. Golding. My name is Audrey Campbell. I'm a former president of this Jamaican Canadian Association, the house that Jamaicans built in this. We planted roots and we're blossoming. My question, one of the things that has haunted me over the years is the farm workers program. When I was on the board, we spent a lot of time listening to the concerns of the farm workers that come to this country and are almost like indentured slaves. We were very active years ago when one of their farmhouses burnt down. All their papers were lost, but yet they were still expected to keep working. So my question to you is, when you become Prime Minister, will you and the Minister of Labor that you appoint spend some time in this country? Don't just fly in, go visit. Come and talk to organizations like the JCA and other organizations that are listening to the cries of our people. Time. And we need to know, yes, it's been looking very well. I'm not such a romp with me, but please speak to that because the JCA is watching and we're carrying this burden of pain.
Thank you for that question. It's an issue which has been in the public domain for some time. You may know that the former minister, your opponent, he may be your opponent, we don't really know, but he's currently MP. He was the minister of labor. He sent a team up here to investigate complaints. They came back, they issued a report. The report was not as damning as some of the farm workers themselves who were complaining about the situation felt it should have been. I think sometimes these visits are managed and choreographed so that they don't see what they need to see. You know, I know a little bit about it because one of my constituents, I had nominated him to go on the farmer program, and he came up and he was giving me, sending me pictures and sending, he got involved in an association that exists here of persons looking at, from a human rights perspective, what's happening and so on. Now, it's a sensitive issue because it's a very valuable opportunity for people in Jamaica. And let me tell you, the demand for, as I call it, farmer ticket is endless. It's one of the things that constituents ask you for most because they want the opportunity. I have been to communities in Jamaica. I went to a place called Pleasant Hill, I think it's called. It's near Luida's there. I went there because the government had issued eviction notices to 60 families who had been there since, they say, what the figure, long time in Jamaica. The land had been purchased for them from Burley Park Estate. For them, they were sugar workers. Michael and Dad did that, but their titles had never been regularized. And the government now giving them notice to come up. And when I went up there, if you ever see the houses, these are farming people. Most of them had gone and farm work here and there in the US and have built lovely homes for themselves. It is a huge opportunity. So any government in Jamaica wants to ensure that while we protect that opportunity, we also deal with the reality in a way that raises the standard of care of those people and the conditions in which they work. The liaison function, the liaison service. Portia was the one, I think, who started that, but there are a lot of complaints about it. I don't want to get into details because I don't want to say anything that maybe not totally factual or whatever, but I know that this is an issue of concern and we're going to be looking at that, and it needs some refreshing and it needs some expanding. And I think that organizations or individuals like yourself who have a passion for it have a role to play in kind of guiding us in the right direction so we can, we don't want to end the program, we want to expand the program. You know, if the government of Canada is willing to do that, we would love to do that, but we also want to make sure that our people, when them come in, nobody can disrespect them. We're not in that.
All right, Mr. Cook. We have at least 10 more people in line that have not spoken yet. I'm watching our time. It is now 8:36.
Thank you. Deborah DeLeon, welcome, Comrade Leader. My question is there a plan in place for us in the diaspora to vote without have to be in Jamaica?
That's a good question. And it's a deep question. And I don't want to send up, I don't want to say on the proposal and make you feel nice. Can't do that. The reality is, the rules around who can be elected and who can vote are in the law. Some of them are in the Constitution. And there are provisions that are entrenched, meaning that they cannot be amended without a certain threshold of votes in the Parliament, which really means both political parties have to support that change. I have said that I would like, as a first step, to expand the Senate of the country, to have diaspora representation on the Senate. Because the Senate, first of all, you don't have to represent a constituency to be in the Senate. And also, the skill sets that exist in diaspora, I think, could be well deployed. The Senate, for example, allows meetings by audiovisual attendance. The House of Representatives does not currently in Jamaica. So you have to be
physically, if you were an MP, you have to come to Parliament, participate in any debate and to vote. Now in terms of voting rights, we have to be creative around that issue. The truth of the matter is that there are as many Jamaicans outside Iraq as there. So if it was our situation like where they all had the right to vote, they would really decide the government in Jamaica. And I think people in Jamaica would feel like different about that because they say, well, they're not there. And then now we go through the struggle we are, and then we are paying a tax in Jamaica, and, you know. So, but on the other hand, for example, why couldn't we have a constituency or two? That's how in our party we created Region 7, which is the diaspora region, and our Jamaican people can participate in our party through that region, including rights to vote. Why can't we have a constituency or two, which is diaspora representation? It's a notional constituency, it's no physical place. It's not a physical seat, but you, from your resident outside Jamaica, you register to vote and you're Jamaican, you can vote and send somebody to sit in the garden house and be part of it. I think that's doable. And it is done in France. I think France operates like that. So, you know, they go out to Martinique and so on. So it can be done, but it's going to require the JLP and the PNP agreeing to do it because it can't happen otherwise. And you know, I cannot tell you how that will go because that hasn't always worked as it should. You know, but I certainly am in favor of expanding and including in ways that fairly balance the different interests that are at play. And I know that the diaspora wants to be a part of this and have, you know, after all, our economy is very, very dependent on the diaspora. So we can't just go out and recognize and acknowledge that.
Thank you, Mr. Governor.
Center Consul? Yeah.
Name and question.
My name is Carol Clark. Honorable Mark Golden, good evening. Welcome to Canada. We have connected in 2021, and I am still disappointed because the current regime don't auction the ambulance I donated to Jamaica. That's me. And I thank you for the help that you have given me, even though it was at the end. It's because of your help why I was aware that it was going to be auctioned at the Queen's Warehouse. So what I'm asking is, what policy change do you have that will help us to donate without going through the bureaucracy and the red tape? The problem is the JCA, the Jamaica Customs Authority, and the Ministry of Finance. There's no corroboration, even though I've gotten the waiver from the Ministry of Finance. The JCA decided.
All right. Mr. Goldman?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with your case, you know, because we corresponded quite a bit. But as you said, by the time you got in touch with me, you've gone through a long period of harassment over it, and it was kind of late in the day. And it's very unfortunate because the ambulance wasn't, at the end of the day, used in the way that you had intended, and the people, yeah. But the bigger issue is there needs to be a process, and it needs to be transparent, and it needs to be well understood. One of the problems we have in Jamaica is that the rules are often not clear, and people don't know where to go to get information about what the rules and procedures are. And they, with the best of intentions and a good heart, they try to do something for the country. They don't follow the procedures that exist because they don't know about those. And then the system is very unforgiving in Jamaica if you don't follow the procedures that have been laid down. And you get yourself into a challenging situation. So what I think has to happen is that procedures need to be very clear, and they need to be well publicized so that anybody who wants to do this knows what you have to do to receive the benefits of being treated as a charitable donation, for example. And then also there are some costs which the Ministry of Finance can't waive. They can waive the duties and the tax, but there's some administrative costs at customs which they can't waive, and which can be quite expensive. And I think philanthropic contributions, whether it be in kind or whatever, vehicles or foodstuffs or medical supplies, those should really be exempted from any of those costs because people are giving out of their pocket to help their country. So that's something we intend to pursue.
All right, thank you, Mr. Whitman. Next question, your name, please.
People, what are you waiting for? Like and subscribe to the Sticky Stocky Sweet TV channel. Keep Gargan up and running. Subscribe, like, and share. What do you waiting for? It's not gonna cost you a cent. Just from your heart. Yeah.
Yes, my God. Hi, comrade. Okay, the question I have is that the question that the lady asked, some follow-up on it. What's the party's position on constitutional reform? Because that can also help address this question that the lady asked. The next question is, what's the party's position on corruption in government? And how do you plan to deal with that going forward? And also, do you think that the present justice system needs overhauling?
Yeah, well, the justice system has suffered in Jamaica from one of the main things has been a lack of funding over many years. So a lot of the court facilities are in a fairly deplorable condition. Some of the procedures that exist are old-fashioned, and that can be a source of frustration for those who use the courts, litigants and lawyers, and indeed judges. We have gone through, the country has gone through a serious process of trying to improve on that. But the focus has really been more on the criminal justice side, because we had a terrible problem of backlog of criminal cases, people who had been on remand for years and hadn't had their matters tried, or had been on bail for many years and hadn't had their matters tried, and that doesn't work in the criminal justice system. So a lot of effort has been put on trying to improve that, and there have been significant improvements. But on the civil side, which is, claims for money and claims related to land and estates, dead left and all of that, there's still a lot that needs to be done. And, we're committed to that process. I was very involved in the justice reform. When I was minister for 4 years, we did a lot. There's a lot more to be done.
Again, can I just remind people on the sidebar conversations, your voice are traveling in, so we can still hear the sidebar conversation. If we can just do that, due respect again, that when it answers your questions, everyone listen. Sorry.
On the corruption side of things, the legal architecture is quite good in Jamaica now for dealing with it. The agency has powers, serious powers to deal with corruption. What we need to do is support the agency. What has been happening is that some in Parliament have been doing their best to try and undermine the agency because they don't like the outcome of the investigations that have taken place. And that's because those investigations have led to conclusions which they don't feel comfortable with politically. All I can tell you is, this needs to be above politics. We have to clean up the country.
True.
Physically
True.
and morally.
True.
And that involves letting those agencies and the laws take their course. And that's what I'm committed to doing. So the Integrity Commission, when I'm Prime Minister, will be funded and will not be interfered with. They will be encouraged to do their work without fear or favor.
Yeah.
On constitutional reform, the People's National Party is committed to a process of constitutional reform. We feel that as a nation, Jamaica needs to be fully sovereign. We feel that as a proud nation, a majority of our people are of African descent. We can't have a situation where a head of state is a king or queen, a monarch, across the Atlantic. That has very little to do with us. Yeah. We also feel that our final court should not be the King's Court, but should be a court that was of our own making. And the Caribbean Court of Justice has been established by ourselves and our regional partners to do that. And it's serving Guyana, it's serving Barbados, it's serving Dominica, it's serving Belize, it will soon be serving St. Lucia, and Jamaica needs it as well. Because right now, if you're a Jamaican and you have a case, and you lose it at the Court of Appeal, but you don't feel you've got justice, you can't afford to take that case to London. because it's going to cost you millions of dollars to get there, and that is not right. And the CCJ was established to make the procedures much more user-friendly, use audio-visual a lot so you don't have to travel, and the court can come to Jamaica to hear cases, and it has done in the past. So that's something we are committed to. Unfortunately, the JLP and ourselves are not seeing eye to eye yet on that latter piece. And I don't, it's a long history. It's kind of ironic, because the idea of a federal court of appeal, or a court of appeal to serve the Caribbean, what came from Hugh Shearer, when he was back in Prime Minister way back in his late 60s. And Mr. Siaga was in favor of it as well for a while. And then for some reason he switched and he said, well, you know, we want to make sure that this court is beyond political interference and so on. And in a way, it was a good thing, because of his concerns, extra care was taken in the design of the court. It had its own trust fund. It's the only court that I know of in the world that has its own funding from the start. So it doesn't have to rely on any budget of any country to fund its operations. And it also has there's a regional judicial services commission, which the bar associations of the country and other stakeholders have a say to choose the judges so that they're independent of politics. It's an excellently designed court, and it's doing excellent judicial work. And we need to embrace it and move to it to give our people access to justice at the highest level. And that's the problem we have, because we don't yet get JLP back on board with that. I'm hoping they will see the light.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Your name is and your question. My name is Grace Brown. Good evening, Mr. Golden. Thank you for coming to take our questions. My question is, what will you do that is different for the people of the diaspora who has traveled and have been here? For myself, I've been here 49 years and would love to come back home and buy a piece of land or acquire a home that is not going to be in swampland. All of the land is now being segmented or sold to the highest bidders, which are outsiders, which does not belong to Jamaica. We don't have to name the people. Everybody in the room knows the elephant in the room. And so, with that being said, at my age, when I tried to acquire a home at least 5 years ago, I was told I was too old. Based on the banking system, the years of tenure does not allow me to purchase a home based on my age. And that's one of the issues. Will you be looking or revisiting?
Time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you were unable to access financing in Jamaica to buy a home because of your age. I don't know what the banking system in Canada is like around persons of your stage in life getting loans to acquire property. It's a credit decision, really. And it's going to be difficult, I think, for the government to mandate that banks must lend to people regardless of their age, because if the person is unable to pay or whatever, it doesn't, you know, it's a state going to honor the obligation. So it's a tricky one. The age thing is a tricky one. But what I would say is that there's a broader issue, which is that many people in the diaspora who want to buy property in Jamaica fall prey to unscrupulous behavior. You know, sometimes they approach it a bit naively and are conned by persons, developers who take their money and they end up with a home in a scheme which is not completed or has not been built properly and that kind of thing. And I do believe we need to have some institutional arrangement in Jamaica that looks out for diaspora people, some of whom are older people, older folks and so on, to protect them from being ripped off, whether by lawyers or developers or whoever it is in the system who are not behaving with due probity. And it's something which we have to design, and we'd love to have the input of the diaspora on the design of this. A kind of ombudsman kind of person that when you're making an investment, you can check with them, and they can help you with you know, whether those people have a good reputation, they've done prior developments which have gone well, put you in touch with purchasers who bought with them from the past to see if there was, you know, they had a good experience and so on, so you can go in with a bit more confidence that you're not going to be taken advantage of. So I think that's something that we need to pursue further.
Thank you. So unfortunately, we'll have one last question and answer, and then we'll wrap up.
Dwight Brooks is the name. My question to you, sir. I have noticed that within northeastern St. Louis in Jamaica, I have served about 4 consecutive years as a center supervisor in high schools by upholding the integrity of the CXC examination. I've noticed that quite a lot of grade 11 students are really not up to par when it comes on to understanding and really writing their examination. Some facts are that some of these students suffer mental challenges like autism and so on. So I would like to know, what are your plans alongside Comrade Damon Crawford to formulate or to even segregate and actually detecting these issues with these students before reaching up to that standard? Because when that happens, the students fail, the school fails, and also the ministry itself fails.
Yes, that's a really important question. And the truth is that children with special needs in Jamaica face a difficult time. You know, there are not sufficient resources allocated to that. So the MICO does a testing thing, but I'm told, I've met with practitioners in this area, I'm told that first of all, they don't test for the full range of issues. There's some things that they test for, but there are others that they don't. And there's such demand for the service that there are long waiting times before you can get your child tested. So this is something which, you know, as the economy improves, these are the types of things we need to invest in, where we help to support parents and children who have these challenges by putting in more resources so that children are tested mandatorily. Every child is put to a test early to try and identify if there are issues, and a proper plan of treatment can be designed for them so that this isn't something that manifests when they're doing C-sec at grade 11, but it's addressed early. And I know that there are practitioners in Canada who are very skilled in this area and very dedicated, because I've spoken, I had Zoom calls with 2 of them separately, who do provide this kind of service here in Canada. And so this is an area where I would want diaspora support from our Jamaican people. If they can find ways that they can even spend some time down in Jamaica, help our children down there each year or whatever it is, because it's an area of great need in the country.
So here's what I'm going to do, because someone's just asking me. I just need to know, young lady in the back with the braids, are you in line to ask a question or are you videoing? So you're going to ask a question. So sir, we actually just have done 5 people. You guys 1 minute, and if we can try to stick with our time, because the program's going. So let's try to just conclude. Yeah, that's it. 1 minute.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Golden, opening remarks, you indicated that you're opening up the doors for people like myself who live here, Canada and United States and so on, become members of the party. And that's a good idea. However, I've always wondered, why is it that 7 elections has passed and we're not able to vote because
oh God.
Yeah,
oh God, come on.
Time.
Yeah, come on. Oh God.
There are people in other countries who do vote in our election because they're on the voters list in Jamaica, and they return, they fly into Jamaica to vote. To be on the voters list in Jamaica, you have to have a place of residence.
Can we have everyone's attention, please?
You have to have a place of residence there, a home where you can say is your address, and you go to the electoral office in the constituency where your home is, and you register, and then they're going to come and check if you're there, and as long as you're there, you can be registered. And there are people, a lot of people in Jamaica living more than both places, so that they come home to vote. For those who are not in that situation and live permanently here, but who would like to be able to vote from here, and the challenge is you can't go on the voters list, you know, live in Jamaica. And as I've said before, our rules and our constitution don't currently cater for that. And if reform that would be needed to be made to allow that to happen would need bipartisan support between the JLP and the PNP. We have to say, yeah, let us do it this way. And we haven't reached there yet. But I was suggesting that one way I think it could be done, right now we have 63 seats in the Parliament, in the House of Representatives, 53 constituencies, ridings as an unauthority. We could have 65. You know, we could have 2, but or we want an odd number because we never want an even situation in Parliament, you know, about a majority. Where the diaspora vote and send 2 representatives to our Parliament, who they'll have to be people who are prepared to come to Jamaica to sit in the House and so on, even though we might be able to have virtual meetings on some occasions. But we don't reach there yet. That is going to require a lot of dialogue and, you know, trust between the parties has to be rebuilt, because right now we're at a low level of trust because what is going on in the country.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, sir. Name and question.
My name is Reverend Anthony Parks. Mr. Gordon, it's an honor to meet you. My question though, we're looking at the seriousness of mental health issue. There's a serious problem there which most times left alone and not properly addressed, especially from mental background.
And
also,
mental
most of the children who are deaf sign up.
ADHD.
And
Yeah, man.
sometimes I believe that
I forgot about something like that. I forgot something wrong with that. I'm doing these mental English.
Especially when you go to different towns to speak and issues that they don't know. I have a sister who really have that issue.
A big sound, I play a big tune. Jah holy Emmanuel, I boy. Jah Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. Well, Gideon go busting out them head again. So much oppression poor people face right now. Them crying out for freedom. Them crying out for free speech. Then said them want to stand up like them black liberators, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther and the ancient monarchy where come pave the way, sir. Free up black people from me tear down them fence, yeah. Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon, well, the Gideon go busting out them head. I listen, I the power of the Trinity. Give us the teaching of His Majesty, and we no want no devil philosophy. Not until level for man's skin is of no more significant well to the color of his eye. Remember all the war done in 1935.
This is Sticky Stucky Sweet TV with Keith Gargan. Good, healthy food with the X Factor. So give it a like, share, subscribe, and touch up that notification bell. And that is it. Look at